Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Prizana Hadira binti Malukman and my number matrix is 2024297 and 922.
So, for the introduction, food trends are the popularization and adoption of certain foods, diets, or cooking styles. They shape not only what we eat at home, but also restaurant menus while reflecting wider cultural, social, and economic changes. Historically, food trends have always evolved from the prehistoric shift or hunter-gatherers to farming, so to the spice trade in ancient civilizations and the age of explorations which introduced potato, tomato, and corn worldwide. Later, the Industrial Revolution brought mass production and packaged foods, while the 20th century gave us a fast food, frozen meals, health diets, and the rise of fusion cuisine. Today, food trends focus more on health, sustainability, and technology that we see the farm-to-table movement. So the plant-based alternatives, lab-grown meat, and even insect protein. So the social media spreads viral food trends instantly, while delivery apps and automatic continue to change how we eat. In short, food trends show how food is more than just survival. It is a reflection of historic culture and the modern lifestyle. So, our group has chosen two different countries, that is Malaysia and Japan, because both are rich in food and culture that attract not only their own people but also global communities. In Malaysia, food represents social identity and cultural heritage that reflecting Malay, Chinese, and Indian traditions, and it is often linked to religions, celebrations, and daily life. In Japan also, food is closely tied to tradition, aesthetics, and seasonality that the concept of woshuku, recognized by UNESCO, that emphasize a harmony, balance, and respect for nature in foods. Both countries, however, are now influenced by global food trends. In Malaysia, there is a growing interest in plant-based diets among urban consumers and sustainability that efforts such as juice, coffees, edible straws. In Japan, consumers are becoming more conscious of healthy that eating and demand transparent food information.
Hello, my name is Adi Badami Auni binti Suhaini alias Suhaini. So, I want to explain about the global food trends on Malaysia and Japanese food. There is three main points that I want to focus on. So, the first one is plant-based diets and sustainability. Second, food delivery apps and accessibility. And lastly, fusion cuisine and dining practices. So, the first point is plant-based diet and sustainability. Japan integrate plant-based diets within traditional practices, such as plant-based sushi, vegetable ramen, soy substitute, while maintaining values of seasonality and waste reduction. But Malaysia faces more challenges due to its meat-centric culture, but is slowly adapting with vegan-friendly version of local dishes, often framed around health and lifestyle rather than tradition. Second is food delivery apps and accessibility. Japan emphasizes efficiency and precision in food delivery, aligning with its punctual service culture. But in Malaysia, apps like Foodpanda, Grab, Misi thrive on affordability and diversity, reflecting street food culture but also raising concerns about the survival of small hawker stalls. And lastly is the fusion cuisine and dining practices. Japan adapt fusion consciously, ensuring authenticity is preserved. But Malaysia embrace fusion friendly with bold innovation like Korean style nasi lemak or Japanese inspired roti, showcasing its dynamic and multicultural food scene.
Hi everyone! We will explore how plant-based diet, food delivery apps, and fusion cuisine are changing traditional food culture in both countries, which is Malaysia and Japan. First, we go to plant-based diet. In Malaysia, classic like nasi lemak, satay and curry are being reinvited with tempeh, tofu and soy-based meats. In Japan, the plant-based shift feel natural since tofu and soy are already staples. Still, demand is rising for meat substitutes like soy beef gyudon and plant-based tonkatsu. Second, food delivery apps. In Malaysia, apps like GrabFood and Foodpanda make hawker foods more accessible. In Japan, Uber Eats and Damai can bring sushi, ramen and bento to homes. While this adds convenience, it challenges the culture of eating out together. Third is fusion cuisine. In Malaysia, fusion shows creativity, such as nasi lemak burger, durian pizza and teh tarik cheesecake mix local flavors with global styles. This trend modernize tradition and attract younger consumers. In Japan, popular fusion like sushi burritos, ramen burgers and matcha tiramisu appeal to both local and tourists. Chefs also blend Japanese staples with French or Italian technique, creating modern Japanese cuisine. Response from the food service industry. For Malaysia, the Malaysian food service industry embraced fusion as a way to differentiate brands and attract both local millennials and international visitors. Fast casual restaurants and cafes are leading this trend by offering Instagram-worthy, innovative dishes. At the same time, fine dining restaurants use fusion to elevate Malaysian flavors into gourmet experience, appealing to global foodies. Response from the food service industry. Restaurants and cafes actively promote creative reinterpretation of Japanese cuisine to appeal to global tourists and younger locals. For example, chain cafes integrate matcha into Western dessert, while izakayas add Western-style tapas with Japanese flavors. Fine dining establishments also market modern Japanese fusion menus, blending French or Italian style with Japanese presentation.
Greetings, my name is Arif Imran bin Azhar, and right now I would like to present about the cultural, ethical or sustainability issue or conflict that arise within Malaysia and Japan. First, let us take a look at Malaysia. Malaysia's food culture is a blend of Malay, Chinese, Indian and indigenous traditions. This diversity enriches the heritage, but it also creates challenges. For example, disputes often arise over who owns the certain dishes like nasi lemak or laksa, which become tied to national pride. Another important issue is the halal food regulation. While it's central to the Muslim majority, it sometimes creates tension with the non-Muslim communities and business over certification costs. On the sustainability side, Malaysia's heavy reliance on palm oil has drawn global criticism due to deforestation, biodiversity loss, and concerns about indigenous lands' rights. Now let us take a look at Japan. Japan's cuisine, known as washoku, was recognized by UNESCO in 2013 as an important cultural heritage. However, Japan also faces conflicts between tradition and modern ethics. One example is the debate over whale meat. While some communities view it as a cultural tradition, it strongly criticized internationally on the conservation and animal rights grounds. Japan also struggled with overfishing, especially for tuna, which threatens long-term seafood sustainability. At the same time, globalization and modernization continue to reshape the food practice and tradition that are held by the Japanese people. We will talk on how food identity and heritage are preserved or affected. In Malaysia, food identity is closely tied to cultural festivals like Hari Raya, Chinese New Year and Deepavali, where traditional food strengthens the community bonds. The government also promoted national cuisine abroad through initiatives like Malaysia Kitchen for the World. Street food, especially in Penang and Kuala Lumpur, plays a vital role as living heritage. Though it faces pressure from urbanization and hygiene regulations. Another key aspect is cultural hybridity. Foods like nasi lemak, roti canai and char kway teow are enjoyed across communities, creating both uniqueness and unity. UNESCO's recognition of Penang has also helped preserve food street tradition. At the same time, younger generation are adapting global influences into Malaysian cuisine, showing that heritage is not static but evolving. On Japan, food identity is preserved through several efforts. Washoku is formally recognized and promoted through education, seasonal eating and local systems like Satuyama, which integrate food and nature. School lunch programs also teach children about traditional diets and cultural values. Traditional practices like kaiseki dining and fermentation remain important symbols of artistry and continuity. On the global stage, campaigns like Cool Japan promote Japanese cuisine abroad. However, Western fast food and fusion cuisine are popular with younger generation, leading to cultural shift. Despite this, traditions are still passed down through ritual, festival and family meals, ensuring that the values of harmony and sensationality, and also the respect for ingredients remain central to the Japanese food culture.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is Huda Ruslam Telas and today I will be presenting the relationship between global food trends and the food service industry in Malaysia and Japan. So, let's start with Malaysia first. The rise of plant-based diet has encouraged restaurants to adapt traditional dishes. For example, Salah KL and Hijau Kuala Lumpur now offer vegan version of classic like nasi lemak, curry and satay. This shows that heritage foods can be modernized without losing their cultural significance. Next, for delivery platforms such as GrabFood and Foodpanda have also transformed the way food is served. Many hawker stalls and restaurants have redesigned their menus and started using eco-friendly packaging to ensure that food quality is maintained during delivery. And retailers are responding as well. Stores like Ben's Independent Grocer and Jaya Grocer now stock more organic and plant-based product, reflecting the growing consumer demand for healthier and sustainable option. Additionally, catering and hospitality service have adapted by offering vegetarian and vegan buffet during corporate events and weddings, accommodating diverse dietary needs. Now, we're looking at Japan. Restaurants there are also adapting to global trends while maintaining cultural authenticity. Major chains such as Mos Burger and Yoshinoya have introduced soy-based meat substitutes, catering to plant-based demand while preserving traditional flavors. For delivery service, including Uber Eats Japan and Dime-chan, have prompted restaurants to innovate in packaging. For example, ramen restaurants now separate broth and noodles to preserve taste and quality during delivery, ensuring convenience without compromising traditional dining experiences. Lastly, high-end restaurants emphasize sustainability by sourcing seasonal ingredients known as shun and reducing food waste. Catering firms, particularly in tourist-heavy areas like Kyoto and Osaka, highlight Washoku inspires menu using seasonal and locally sourced ingredients, appealing to both domestic and international clients. In conclusion, the food service industry in both Malaysia and Japan demonstrate a strong relationship with global food trends. Businesses innovate through menu adaptation, digitalization, and sustainability practices while preserving cultural heritage and remaining competitive in both local and global markets. Thank you.
As for the conclusion, we can see that Japan have careful adaptation on their food, such as trends like plant-based diet, sustainability and delivery apps are integrated cautiously while preserving seasonality, authenticity and refinement. Also, heritage is safeguarded through education, policy and UNESCO recognition of Washoku. But Malaysia have open integration such as fusion cuisine, halal-friendly innovation and food delivery apps are embraced quietly, reflecting its multicultural and dynamic food scene. Also, the challenges includes palm oil sustainability, halal ethics and protecting hawker tradition. For the shared outcome, it gives the tradition redefined. Globalization does not erase tradition in any country, but food heritage is re-experienced, marketed and sustained in their ways, showing that culinary identity can be both strong and adaptable.